No. Somebody else who has got very good internet connection. Jivita, you have good internet connection with you? And she is not joining. She is going on joining.
May I go ahead?
Yeah, please continue. Number one, what does break-even point signify? Read the answer only. Yeah.
Yeah. So break-even point is a point when cash inflow match cash outflows.
Yeah.
So coming
No,
to point number B, it is a point of production when there is no profit and no loss.
good. Very
And
good.
so how is contributed calculated? So unit sale price minus variable cost per unit. This is how contribution is calculated
Unit sale price minus variable cost per unit.
per
Okay.
unit.
Then what does IRR
What does
indicate?
IRR indicate?
Hmm.
If the cost of fund is lower than IRR, the project is viable.
Okay. Then concept of work. Please read.
Yeah, working capital and term loan. Concept of working capital. Working capital denotes the amount of money required by manufacturing enterprises for its day-to-day financing of first purchase of raw material, stores and spares, payment of wages to employees, payment
Hmm.
of other expenses towards
So,
energy,
1 minute.
fuel and water. Yes, sir.
Now you study. Continue.
Payment of
Purchase.
other
Hmm.
expenses
Payment of other.
towards
Yeah.
energy, fuel, water consumption, statutory dues, rates and taxes, carriage expenses. Other expenses requires to be incurred in connection with production, selling, and administration.
Hmm. I think you better read this once again. One, purchase of raw material.
Purchase of raw material, stores, and spares.
Hmm.
Payment of wages to employees.
Hmm.
Payment of other expenses toward energy, fuel, and water consumption, statutory dues, rates, and taxes, carriage expenses. Fourth is other expenses required to be incurred in connection with production, selling, and administration.
Good. Continue.
So going forward, there are two concepts of working capital. First is gross working capital and net working capital.
Hmm.
Sum total of all current assets is known as gross working capital, and difference between sum total of current assets and total of current liabilities introduced at net working capital.
Hmm. Continue.
So we can try the from formula that net working capital is equal to uh, sum of total
No, no,
current
no. No.
assets.
You please read this fully. Gross working capital will be.
Gross working capital will be always positive, but the net working capital may be positive or negative.
Okay. Adequacy of working capital. हम लोग
Excessive
पहले
working,
पढ़ लेंगे, बाद में आप जो आप बोलना चाहते हैं बाद में बोल दीजिए, ठीक है?
no issue, sir. Excessive working capital, that will be idle funds. Inadequate working capital will be lack of funds. Relation between working capital, risk and return. Higher working capital reduce risk and reduce and decrease profit. Lower working capital has a higher risk, which increases profit. Current assets are less profitable than fixed assets. Short-term funds are less expensive than long-term funds.
Okay, good. Because the interest charged will be less. Term loans,
Yes,
please read this. Term loans.
term loans, and that is payable after 1 year to up to 10 years. Loan up to 3 years, that is short-term loans. 3 to 7 years will be medium term. 7 to 10 up to 10 years will be long term.
Yeah.
Term loan are utilized for establishing, expanding, or modernizing a manufacturing unit by acquisition of fixed assets.
Okay, continue.
So difference between term loan and working capital. Term loan are utilized for establishing, expanding, or modernizing a manufacturing unit by acquisition of fixed assets, while working capital is used for day-to-day operations. Term loan are usually usually medium to long term, whereas working capital finance are available in cash credit, withdrawing, and repayment.
See, actually, 1 minute. All cash credit means what? I mean, Working capital is always given in the form of open cash credit. Open cash credit means the the raw material, the goods in process, the finished goods, all these things will be hypothecated to the bank. Banks will put their name in the factory itself, goods in this premises hypothecated to so and so. Or some people will write financed by so and so bank. So they will put like that. And the object understanding is whatever sales is happening, they are supposed to remit it back into the cash credit account, which is allowed as an overdraft account. A limit will be fixed, which the borrower can avail and repay, and it is supposed to be reviewed after 6 months, and all cash credit accounts are to be renewed every year. Every year, the borrowers are expected to give monthly stock statement, and the banker is supposed to go to the shop or the factory, inspect and find out that goods are maintained. I mean, that much goods are available. Not only that, in the case of the cash credit, what happens? Sometimes they may give as key cash credit, KCC. Don't confuse with Kisan credit card. This is key cash credit. In this case also, it is allowed as an overdraft limit with a limit fixed based on the goods. But only difference here is
The
the
screen
goods
is not
are
visible, sir.
the, acha, one minute. The goods are
No.
kept under the lock and key. All these things I am telling from my memory. It's not there on the screen, but still you see this. So the Kisan credit, sorry, the key cash credit, the goods will be, most probably they will be finished goods. They will be inside the godown. The key of that godown will be with the bank staff, and it will be kept inside a godown or a premises. And both the cases, the goods have to be insured against fire, mainly against fire and burglary. They will have to get them insured so that, and the name of the bank has to be entered in the insurance policy. And in case any mishappening happens, the payment settlement will first come to the bank, and then only it will go to the party. So this is the um, working capital. Working capital is given as open cash credit or as key cash credit. One more point to be told is that if the borrower is a limited company, then such charges as, say, hypothecation or pledge. In the case of KCC, it is known as pledge. They have to be registered with a registrar of joint stock companies. They have to be registered with a registrar of joint stock companies. And it has to be registered within 30 days from the date of creation of charge. If perchance it is missed, then we have to get the approval of High Court and then go and make the charge creation. Very good. That much is sufficient. Now we will go for credit appraisal techniques. Please.
Sorry to interrupt you, but sometimes like client is also using CC for only one day.
ऐसा तो नहीं होगा.
Yes, sir. In our case, like my client is using for one day, and before like intraday, they pay in one day only, like before 12
अच्छा, अच्छा.
o'clock.
No, you are talking about Bombay, where Banking is on a separate note. Banking is not as per books because there Ambani, Adani, Gajani, Majani, those fellows will come and prescribe their terms, and you people dance to their tunes invariably. Sorry to say, that is what is happening. But
Yeah, no
I
issue.
that is what is happening. But I don't know how you are protecting it. Maybe there must be some permission by which, it is similar to mall practice that used to happen years back. I don't know whether it is there now in Bombay. Um, say when the cash opens at 10 o'clock, 10:15 somebody will come from that influential party, will come and take away 1 crore money. They will go away. And by about 2:30 that day afternoon, they will come and remit back this 1 crore. And they will give some money, extra money to the bank staff as say to adjust that. Do you follow what I say? So
Yeah,
likewise,
yeah.
in this case, I don't know whether it is like that, but even if it is not like that,
No,
the
we are just giving cash credit for 1 day. If the client is not able to pay within 1 day, so we charge interest for that.
yeah, actually, it is like temporary overdraft. It is actually known as temporary overdraft, where you don't have any security. He just gives a letter based on which you are allowing him temporary overdraft, on the understanding it will be adjusted by that day evening, which invariably happens. Only whenever some cycle breaks, this also will be in problem. So I
Yes,
don't know what is the documents they have taken for this purpose and all. Whatever procedure it is, uh, the if you call it cash credit, there must be some security. If there is some security, it must be insured. But if it is not done, we take our own risk in doing it, which of course it is only your manager's responsibility. You cannot be directly held responsible unless you try to play a trick along with the customer. Understand? Yeah.
yes, sir.
Yeah. In Bombay and all, आप कब ज्वाइन किए बॉम्बे में बताइए मुंबई में
Last year,
बिफोर दिवाली आफ्टर दिवाली
before Diwali, last June.
अच्छा दिवाली में क्या वो लोग कितना what was the practice of gifts being given to you?
Sir, usually client send gifts for us,
Yeah.
like dry fruits and all that.
अच्छा only dry fruits, then it is okay.
Dry.
Because in the case of Reliance and all, they will give you pant, shirt, suit, then sari, then 10,000 rupees pocket along with dry fruits. Itna, they have norms. They have norms for manager itna hai, then officer itna hai, then sub,
They come up like before 1 day. They count the number of people like handling particular client,
yeah, sub
and
stuff, and
yeah,
then they will do. It's okay. That is a
that's
different.
common. Sir. We also give to them.
Yeah, I know bank also gives some gifts to them if that is happening. But all that can be done. We can receive gift from them as long as that is not affecting our decision making ability. That is, when you receive a gift, if you are influenced to give overdraft against a security that is not present, that is wrong. Could you follow?
Yes, sir.
But these things cannot be discussed openly in an interview.
Yes,
Anyhow,
sir.
it doesn't matter. Who was reading it? Please read.
So, credit appraisal techniques. First
Mm,
one is two important questions. Like first is whether the entrepreneur requires funds or what are the credential of entrepreneurs.
mm.
So, credit appraisal techniques are increasingly focused on assessment of repayment capacity of borrower, which in turn depend on their cash generating ability.
I think
Credit,
we may be repeating what we have already studied. Doesn't matter. Still, we will read. Assessment of credit.
Assessment of credit requirements for a small enterprise is often difficult because of lack of data relating to operations of the unit in this category. RBI suggested banks not to insist on the submission of audited financial statement up to credit requirements of rupees 25 lakh from the borrower. Above 25 lakh, structured analysis of financial statement is required. Estimation of working capital needs. Bank finance only the residual gap in the customer resources after taking into consideration the expected availability from all other sources of funds. Generally, there are four methods of estimating the working capital requirements of borrower. The first is the projected turnover method, maximum permissible bank finance, and the cash budget.
Operating cycle, it is like this. They are purchasing raw material, they are put into production process, it becomes work in process, then again it is a production process, then it becomes finished goods, then it is sold. Sales, when it happens, not always it happens in cash, it happens in credit, then realization of the cash proceeds, then it becomes cash. That again is given for raw material. It goes like this. This is known as operating cycle. Then same thing they have put here. Working capital requirement is equal to annual operating expenses divided by number of operating cycles. Number of operating cycles is equal to 365 into length of operating cycle. That means we buy raw material on first day, we make it into finished goods by 10th day, then it is sold within probably next 15 days, 25 days. Here we are giving 1 month time. So then it means it comes to 55 days or probably 2 months in all. So there will be 6 operating cycles for a unit like what I am telling you, where it takes so many days to come as a finished good, then so many days credit and cash realization, everything. It becomes once in 2 months, it will happen. So the operating cycles are 6 times. So annual operating expense kitna hai divided by 6 is one method of working capital requirement. Please read this case study. Calculate working capital. Acha, these things, this one, next one has come here, but I request you to work out this in your home because this is nothing but mathematics calculation. You calculate karke, you please work it out and see that. And Niharika and another boy, Shubham and others, please work out and you give the answer in our group.
Yes,
Or
sir.
similarly, I have suggested you are forming individual groups during daytime for studying extra. Someone, have you taken any initiative, anybody? Please do that. If not, if it had not been happening so far, at least do it from tomorrow or day after tomorrow. Okay, very good. Now, please continue projected turnover method. Yeah,
So working
hello.
capital requirement. Yes, sir.
Please read. Recommended by Noack committee. Hello, are you there online?
Yes, sir.
Please read. Screen
Working
is
capital requirement for SSI units up to rupees 5 crore and for others up to rupees 1 crore. Assumption is operating cycle 4 per annum or 3 months operating cycle. Working capital requirements will be
this is what happened. Now I took it as 2 months. 2 months में नहीं होगा, इसलिए तो they have made it as 3 months as operating cycle. That is 4 operating cycles will be there. Very good. Continue. Working capital requirement. is 1
equal, that is half the 1 by
1 by
4th, that is 25% of projected annual turnover. And minimum
minimum.
bank limit is 20% of sales. Margin will be 5% of sales.
20 itna sales, supposing his sales is 2 lakhs, then not let us talk in big amounts. Supposing the sales is some 60 lakhs, 20% of that will be given, then margin is 5% of sales. Very good, continue. Projected turnover method. So this is another problem they have given, work it out. Then try yourself this also. How much is the work? Please work it out and come with the answer tomorrow. Checklist mandatory requirement. Please read this one. Working capital facilities.
Working capital facilities of less than rupees 10 lakh. Auditing financial statement for last 3 years. Copy of returns declaration. Projection of sales, gross profit and net profit. Working capital facilities of rupees 10 lakh up to rupees 5 crore. Audited financial statement for the last 3 years. Operating statement in form in form 2. Balance sheet analysis in form 3.
I don't know what is that form 2 and form 3. Pata nahi hai. So there will be a form which they have to fill it up themselves. If we come across that, we will see. I have not seen that so far. Yeah.
Maximum permissible bank finance method applicable in working capital
where is
above
it?
5 crore.
Are you able to see that? I am not able to see that. 1 minute.
Yeah, I am able to see that.
1 minute. Yeah. Maximum permissible bank finance method. Continue quickly.
Norms recommended by Tandon committee. It has 2 methods. First method is MPBF, working capital gap minus margin, where margin equal to 25% of WCG. MPBF is 75% of WCG. And second method is MPBF is working capital gap minus margin, where margin equal to 25% of current assets.
25% of current assets. Yeah. Continue. They are given some examples. Please work out and give the answer in the note in the website, and also check it up whether it is coming correctly. Yes, please.
Sir, they can ask this type of question.
I think the answer no, they will not ask you. In very rarely they will ask you like this. If this is like this, if this is like this, how much is the working capital to be given? Very rarely. So these things you have to by heart. Standard committee, first committee method, second method and all. ये सब memorize करना है, करके आप बोलना है. Very rarely they will give you like this. Yes, please.
Sir, I think there are 3 methods of Tandon committee, sir.
Yeah. I think one is not appearing here. They are not given here. There are 3. Third method of Tandon committee is.
Sir, that is core current assets wala. We have discussed one day.
Acha. Tandon committee, third method. Third method of lending. Under this method, please read that ICICI boy was reading. Please read.
Yes, sir.
Third method.
Third method of lending. Under this method, the borrower's contribution from long-term funds will be to the extent of entire core current assets, which has been defined by the study group as representing the absolute minimum level of raw materials, processed stocks, finished goods, and stores which are in pipeline to ensure continuity of production, and a minimum 25% of the balance current assets should be financed out of the long-term funds plus term borrowings.
Yeah. I will give this Bank Net India. I will give this link in our group. What is that newspaper? Please go through this. Okay. Thank you. Now, where are we? This is what we were seeing. Now we are here. Okay. Example, please work it out. This is cash budget system. Are you ready? Can we sit for some more time and read? Niharika?
Yes, sir. No issue.